There was a 1.73% chance for me to win $3,000. Alright, welcome back. Get ready for one of the craziest poker sessions I've ever been at. One of the dealers that usually deals here decided he wanted to play today, and oh my goodness, did he bring the action. I've never seen anything like this. He was all in 6 times in the first 30 minutes, and as you see here, he jammed about $400 with Ace 5 suited. The action is crazy. He wound up chopping that, then he got right back into it, jamming $400 with King Queen offsuit. He got called by Ace King, but the poker gods rewarded the craziness. He drilled the queen to suck out. It inspired a lot more action from all the other players at the table, riled everyone up, so get ready for a crazy action-packed jam session, and without further ado, let's get right into it. I guess diamonds are our lucky pal today because we play a bunch of diamond suited cards, don't get anything before we get into ace jack of diamonds, so still on that diamond theme. There's an open to 15 and a call, and we're on the button here, so we definitely could flick in the call, which might bring in the small blind and the big blind. Going multi-way with a suited ace, a high suited ace, is not always the worst idea in the world, but I decided to 3-bet this one up to $80, my classic sizing. And now the big blind still comes in for a cold call, which is extremely concerning in all my hours of live play. Every time that's been aces, kings, ace king suited, so we might have to play a little bit of caution here. And then even some more weird action ensues. The initial raiser folds and then the second caller calls. Okay, so we're going 3 ways here. Everyone wants to play with me today, I guess, looking for a good board, and we do not get it. 7, 8, 9, we flop a gutter, so if it checks to me, I'll probably just check, try to hit a 10, get a free card. But again, more weird action ensues as it doesn't even check to me. The big blind checks, and now the second caller decides to just lead out for $75. Wish I had jack 10 and I could ruin his world, but we are forced to let this one go, and not the best way you want to start the session. Alright, I guess we're just gonna keep on playing diamonds, as now we play ace 8 of diamonds. We decided to limp pre-flop, another player limped, and then there was an open to 30. I called and the other player called, and now we flop top pair, top kicker on literally the driest board in the entire world. My mouth is literally drying up just looking at this damn board, but we decide to check. The next player checks, and the initial raiser continues here for $25. I think he's going to have a ton of air just c-betting this board, and I'm just in kind of a weird spot because our 8 does need a lot of protection. Obviously, any card 9 all the way through a king, obviously an ace wouldn't be bad, but 9 all the way through a king, and we have no idea where we're at in this hand. So I decide to go for a little bit of an unorthodox check raise here, and I make it kind of big. I check raise to $110. Obviously, if he calls, we're going to know that he's got a really strong hand, and we're going to have to probably give up on the turn, but doesn't come to that as both players quickly fold. Seems I was right in him having complete air, and let's head to the next hand. Next, we pick up ace queen offsuit. We decide to 3-bet this one up, and we only get one caller, so we're going heads up to a flop. That comes ace queen high, all clubs. This is a wet and dynamic board, so we're hoping to get some of this crazy action, catch some of these punts people are throwing left and right. We'll sit back in the end zone and field a nice one. We decide to c-bet here, and no, he folds. But then we head to our first double board PLO bomb pot. Everyone puts in $15. We get 4 cards. There's 2 boards, tons of cards on the table. Let's get our gamble on. We don't look down at a good hand at all, as we have king 10, 5, 6, rainbow, and when you have 4 cards, all different 4 suits, usually not the best, but on the top board it's 5, 5, 3, and on the bottom board it's 4, 4, 7, so we have trips on the top, and we have an open-ended straight draw on the bottom, which definitely is good and will play, because with 4 cards, it's kind of hard to have a boat. They literally only can have 7-4 or 7s. I mean, they also could have 4-4 for quads, but if they just have a bare 4 and we get it all in, we could hit a 3, an 8, and scoop this entire thing. So let's just head to the action and see what happens. It actually checks all the way to me in the cutoff, and I decide to pot it. I bet $110, and now it's on the button who thinks. He asks how much the bet is, and I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go. He's been all in like 6 times already, like I've said, and he decides to repot this thing, so I'm like, okay. here we go. I mean, if he's got a 5, maybe we can hit something. Maybe we can hit our straight. If he's just got a 4, we could double up. So it gets back to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. He snap calls. Let's play a little bit of audio, and let's show the hand that he flips over.
I'm playing for the top board.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right, so
All right, let me pause it real quick just so I could show you his hand. He does have that bear 4. He does not have a full house yet, and he does not even have a flush draw on the other board. So we are basically free rolling because there's really not any way he could possibly win on the board with the 5. But if I do hit a 3 or an 8, we scoop this entire thing. Let's head to the runouts. There's no chance that we scoop this entire thing, is there?
I'm just gonna deal this out. Let's do this.
Odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely fooled you guys. We do not scoop. He makes quads. We get the good old chop it up like it usually happens in these bomb pots. Do you guys ever scoop these? Let's head to the next hand. Don't you just love when action is flying all over the table? People are getting it all in, just not even in good flips. And then you pick up a premium. You're like, yes, this is finally the time for me to get some action. And there's a raise ahead of me. So you put in that 3-bet and then you watch one by one as everyone folds around the table. And you literally just want to run outside and yell, fuck. Well, if queens don't work, I guess we'll go back to ace queen. This time we're in the big blind and there's some pretty crazy action. Under the gun opens it up to 35 and he gets not 1 but 2 callers. So when it's back on me, I think just flat calling is probably the worst that you could do. Ace queen offsuit going 4 ways to a flop is just never ideal. So I decide to count some chips and put in a pretty massive 3-bet here. I mean, I guess it's not too big when there's 2 callers. I decide to make it $160 and we only get 1 caller here out of the initial raiser under the gun. Usually under the gun, well, pretty much always under the gun is a pretty strong range, so we might have to be careful here. Both other players fold, so just me and this other guy, mano y mano. He's been going a little bit crazy today, playing a lot of hands, getting in the mix, so maybe this is our chance to make some money. But let's head to a flop, and nice, we flopped the queen again. So that's twice now that we've 3-bet with pocket queens and flopped a queen. Usually you're running pretty good when that happens, so I don't want to check here and give him a free card with, say, pocket 9s, pocket 10s. We want to get some value from king queen if he's got that, but I don't have to c-bet big at all. I decided to c-bet here for $110. Think you could even just make it 80, and unfortunately my opponent snap fold. So again, a bit frustrating here, but let's just head to the next hand. All right, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. This is the hand of the night, the hand that you guys have been waiting for, the hand that I talked about in my intro, and it happens with none other than pocket aces. We get an amazing development just like we did last hand. There's an open to $30 and 2 callers before it even gets back to me. I decided to bump this one up to $110. I did go a bit smaller than I did with ace queen, obviously because we have pocket aces. You don't want your sizings to directly represent your hands, but at a fun home game when there's no real professionals who are going to notice that, it's alright to do that, and you want callers here, and that's exactly what I get when 2 out of the 3 callers call the $110, the initial raiser, and then the player in the big blind, which was a little weird for him to go call. There's really not too many hands. He can have low to medium pocket pairs, some low suited cards like 7-8 suited, something like that. Maybe he's here to gamble, but anyways, we're going 3 ways to a board of 7-4 deuce with a diamond flush draw, and we do not have the ace of diamonds. We have 2 black aces, so we could get it in against a flush draw here, but keeping in mind that this board does smash the big blind's range. Like I said, he's going to have a lot of low to medium pocket pairs, low to medium suited connectors, and on a 7-4 deuce board, that's right in his wheelhouse. But obviously, no matter the action, pretty much anything that happens, we're just not going anywhere with pocket aces. But nonetheless, the action goes the big blind checks. I decide to bet out for $150. Don't have to go too big, but I do like c-betting this board here. He could definitely perceive this as a much better board for him and decide to jam with a flush draw or just any combination of hands, thinking I might be c-betting with ace king myself, king queen myself, and he might even be thinking that if he jams, he might be able to get me off pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens, but little does he know, we're not going anywhere. The initial raiser who raised it up pre-flop folds, and now the big blind thinks for a little bit and decides to go all in. I snap call, and let's just play the audio.
I was thinking
I was thinking I was beat.
You have a set?
That's crazy then.
Great. Nice. Twice.
So yeah, we are pretty screwed. As you see the percentages up here, we have 10%. We decided to run it twice, so I need to hit an ace, some running cards, something to help me out here. If I can just win one of these two runouts, not only will I not get felted, but I'll actually make a little bit of money, like $50 to $60, and I'll take that over losing over $800 any day of the week. But little did I know the absolute insanity that was about to ensue in the next 20 seconds. The next 20 seconds of my life here are just, I can't even explain it. Let's just play the damn audio, all right?
No, I was thinking I was beat, but I could bluff along with his lower.
The turn is a 5, so now if there's another 5 or an ace, we will win the first run out. One time, dealer, please, and
Why did I go one time?
oh my goodness, it's a 5. We counterfeit his set. We now have 5-5-5 ace ace, and he only has 5-5-5 2-2. So oh my goodness, we win the first run out. We didn't burn any of our aces. There's still 2 left in the deck, and you hear me say, oh, I should have went one time. But little did I know, the second run out comes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, bro.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god.
And right on the turn, an ace. Oh my goodness. There's less than a 1% chance of me winning not one, but both of these runouts. I feel absolutely disgusting. I know this awful feeling, and I have no words. I don't even know what to say to my opponent. He literally looks like he wants to vomit all over the table, and I wouldn't even blame him if he did. But holy crap, this is easily by far the craziest hand I've ever played. Send this just gross run out to one of your buddies. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. They'll enjoy watching this crazy thing and just be glad that it's not happening to them. But I just have to get down on my knees and say thank you to the poker gods. I guess I had some good karma, some good run good built up, because oh my goodness, I still can't even believe this watching it back. But we still got some more poker to play, so let's keep it going. I just literally can't even believe this mountain of chips. We're up $1,500. Let's just keep going. Now we get right back into a pretty interesting spot here. We have ace king offsuit. We decide to open it up to $30, and we get 2 callers out of the big blind and the button. So we're going 3 ways to a board of queen 8-8 with a flush draw. Definitely not the best board, so when it checks to me, I decided to check this one. We don't have to c-bet every single time. Sometimes we could check. If I had an 8 here, I would check. If I had pocket queens, I would check. So definitely balancing some weak hands in this checking range as well. And I'm happy to see that the button checks, but I'm even happier to see that the turn is an ace. Beautiful. And now when the big blind checks, I do something that I literally never do on this channel. I slow play the crap out of this bad boy. I decide to check again. I know the button is a loose, aggressive player. I've played with him before. I know he definitely can sense that we are weak from both of us checking the flop and now the turn. I think he'll definitely take a stab at this, and that's exactly what he does. He decides to bet out for $60, and when the big blind almost instantly calls, I am a bit confused here. I don't want to put in a raise. I think that's overplaying my hand, but there's just no way in hell that I'm folding this hand, so I decide to put in the call. Going to a river here, which is a 4, the flush draws brick. Definitely pretty interesting here, and now the big blind leads out for $75. I mean, what is going on? Like, I have no idea, but like I said, raising is an overplay. Again, there is no shot I am ever folding this hand, so I decide to flick in the call, and the button snap folds, so he definitely had some air. And now the big blind says he has an ace, so I'm like, okay, me too, and we take this one down. Pretty interesting here. Let me know if you guys would have played it any different way. I think I would have gotten close to similar value if I just bet the turn and then bet the river, but can't complain. Pretty interesting hand, and let's head to the next one. And unfortunately, that was the last hand that we decided to play. After racking up, counting our chips, we book a $1,375 win. Can't believe it. What an insane session. We have one more vlog next week at this private game, and then we're going to Vegas for a month and a half. So get ready for some crazy cash game sessions. I'm going to try to push myself, play as much 5-10 plus as I possibly can. Maybe my first ever 10-20 session. I don't know. Stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting updates of where I'm playing. If you guys are out there, definitely try to find me and say what's up. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weeks. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and peace out.